Still got a ways to go, that's for sure. Okay. You know, it's coming together where it wants to separate from the bowl. You know, it's coming together as a mass, like a dough, but it's still not quite there yet. Let's see how it does that. Comes together. But I'm having to, it's getting harder to stir. And when you're making bread, stirring is good. I mean, because that helps the gluten development, which is kind of like working it out, giving it some muscle so that it'll have strength and good elasticity. You want your bread, if you're going to have bread, you want it to be strong enough to hold stuff, you know, like for a sandwich. If you want cake, well, that's not what you want. Okay, yeah, it's going to be got a long way to go. No doubt. I'm going to rinse my hands off again. I can't find a mixer here that has a strong enough, that's strong enough to handle bread dough. So I'm having to do it all by hand, which I don't mind doing, but I am looking for a mixer. Koreans, I guess, don't use mixers often. Or if they do, it's because they own a business and maybe they've got some high-powered stuff. I could probably get online and order stuff, but I'm not really wanting to spend that much money on one. A nice good KitchenAid mixer would be nice, but I know those things can be expensive, and if I have to have it shipped in, anyway, it's not like I would use it every day, you know, so it's not a major priority. Okay, now it's coming together. It's like, you know, it's looking more like dough, but I can tell you right now, it's not dry enough. If I start handling it with my hands, it's going to stick, which is okay. I have to kind of get ready for that anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and start. When I'm making bread, I try to have a dry hand and a wet hand, so I can get the flour with the dry hand and do the mixing with my wet hand. Okay. Okay, let's put a little. Okay. All right, I can start kind of kneading it in that way of mixing it, but this is not my 10 minutes worth of kneading. This is not the main kneading that I'm doing, but that's, you see what I'm doing. I'm just we're still basically in a mixing stage, working that flour in. When it gets where it's not sticking to my hands too much, that's when I'm going to start that standard 10-minute kneading. It doesn't matter if you're not doing it 10 minutes. The point is, It takes about 10 minutes or so of steady kneading to get the bread dough where it looks blistery and all and looks really nice. And generally, if you didn't put too much, if you got just enough flour in it, it won't be sticking to your hands anymore. Most of the flour will be gone off the bowl. Oh, you can knead it on your counter if you wanted to. I mean, well, yeah, after I get it to that point, that's probably what I'll do. But by that time, you know, it shouldn't be sticking too much to my hands. You can knead it, knead it, knead it, and you'll need just barely, just a little more flour once in a while. So, okay, it looks like I'm getting able to knead it, but I'm not. Okay, it's. So when I get to this point, you know, and I'm not going to add big spoons full of flour, I'm just going to kind of add as I need it. Knead. Okay, yeah, because see, once I work that flour in there, it comes to a point it wants to stick some more. Okay, so let's put a little dry hand. I just get a little bit out with my hand and put it all over. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, by the way, you will, if you're making bread, you'll feel it. I mean, your muscles working. If you're not used to this, you'll probably feel a little bit of aching in your wrist and all. Later. That smells good. Okay, see, I worked the flour and it's still wanting to stick. Just a little more flour. Okay. So that's got all the flour out the bowl. Okay. Here, I'm just going to set this bowl aside because I will use it to let let this dough rise in for a couple of hours. Okay. So let's put a little flour on my counter. Okay. And get get it all over the bread. There we go. Okay, this is where I'll start my 10 minutes, but I'll probably edit this part of the video. Anyway, you don't have to stick around and watch me knead this, but you get the idea. But